This is a look at my package for my construction package for Star Awards 1998. I think this is my reference, visual reference, a lot of it from interior design, because I am interior design trained, and I wanted to have, this is sort of like the mood board for what I had hoped to accomplish and the look. So this was a package that was given to my contractors at that time. So I'm gonna flip through and see package A and subsequently package B. Oh, there is a package. Oh, it's a floor plan. Let me look at the floor plan first. Look at the floor plan. Quick discussion. Is this Star Wars? Yes, Star Wars 1998. One of my last few large-scale variety shows that I did before leaving the company, Television Corporation of Singapore. All these were done in A3 size. I reduced this to A4 size to store and keep for myself. But for all intents and purposes, it's A3 size when they were done in-house. Floor plan. So normally what I would do is I would generate the floor plan. The floor plan is drawn in a much larger scale than we reduced and fit into A3 size. But this, for the purposes of clarity, to send to my contractors, so they could see what was going on. And I had what I did was, what our normal practice was, I numbered essentially all the items. So when I have them on separate illustration or drafting pages such as this, they would understand where it is from. Just roughly go through. So again, elevational. This is more elevational designs and dimensions, so people will see and front elevation plan and the side what it would look like. This might not necessarily be a construction documentation, but it's for visual reference. So one look when you see all these are hand drawn. None of these were computer drawn, hand drawn by myself. I need to say it because back in the days didn't have that type of technology in the mid to late 90s, and neither did I pick up this technology anyway. So for example, like this would be an elevational aspect where instructions, basically instructionals. If I do not necessarily have the chance to meet contractors to brief them, I need to be as clear as I can. At this point in time is English, clear as I can in terms of instructions. And even if we do speak to contractors or renovators or folks who are going to construct items for us, it might not be fair to everyone if I'm basing purely on memory, that you remember what we said sometimes 2 weeks ago, sometimes 2 months ago, sometimes 3 months ago. So in terms of my direction for documentation is everything I'll state out as clearly as I can. So even if you might forget something, it's briefed in the drawing. So details like this, I might not necessarily say how thick or how wide the frames are, but it's again visual purposes, reference or staircase or steps, how tall in essence, about 2.4 meters, 2.4 meters versus 3.3 meters wide, a distance of a step, stuff like that, details. So even something like this, an asymmetrical step, it's one thing to draw plans. Of course the contractors understand what's going on, but this is for me at the same time to remind not just by myself but anybody else who is looking at the construction illustrations to understand what's going on. It's one thing where you have a drawing geared towards specialists, and another where you cater to people who might be looking at this not out of their skill set. Wow, okay. I recognize. I remember this now. This is all coming back to me. Like one copy for scenic artists, one copy for set production, two copies for production supplies, on and on. So this is the pipeline, or rather the system where folks are involved in receiving these drawings. Even stuff like this. The staircase might be a bit off. I think this is joint. This should be joint. Yes, it's joint. You know, so sometimes it's pieces. Let me, for example, E and F. So when we look at the floor plan, well, search for an E. Where is the E? It is missing. Where is the F? Oh gosh, everything is missing, man. Mampos, yeah. Oh, 5. 5 is the steps. Where's the 5? 5 is the steps. Does it make sense? Whew, makes sense to me. So even the steps. Yeah. Details. Again, these are all roughly drawn. But I do not necessarily state the thickness or whatnot unless, you know, little details like this. 1/4 inch ply fillet, timber beading. So minor details. I am not a skilled draftsman. When I was a set designer and subsequently senior set designer at TCS, we don't just design the set with a floor plan. We also do documentation. So in all intents and purposes, these are multiple roles taken up by the set designer in TCS back in the day. I don't know what's happening now since I left in the late 90s, so maybe things have changed. I wouldn't know any different. Again, illustrations, documentation. Hard pressed to see if this is provided for these days when it comes to set design. Wow, schedule works. So I also needed to not just design and also document and also provide a schedule of work. It's one thing where a production has their production schedule where there's rehearsals, artists coming in, and that's one aspect we do not are not in charge of. But in terms of design, I need to also find out when are they coming in, when are they filming, when are they finishing, so we can slot in. In terms of design, there's always before the program happens, we move in, we set. And then when the program ends, we move in, we strike. That means we take apart. So all of these are needed to schedule. So in terms of like this, it is work schedule. All in. All in. Package A. Wow. These are all slowly flooding back to me now. Again, we've seen this before. Maybe we've seen everything. Let me do a quick flip through, and if need be, I'll speed up the video. Maybe a little bit more details. Really a bit more details. And one thing I've learned, and I spoke about this not too long ago. Oh my gosh, I even did this. Wow, I can't remember if we achieved this. I hope we did. Well, it's a bit too long ago for me to remember. I always remembered one thing in terms of drawings as well. Submission of drawings. It's not so clear here, but checked and signed, if you can see here. Checked and signed. So there's accountability for everything that goes on, which is a very fair thing that we need to look out for. Oh wow. 2 days, 2 separate days. Package A was on the 15th. Package B was on the 16th. Why? Let me see. Let me remind myself why it's separate. Is it alterations? Or details? Or maybe there are more things. What is this for? Project number. No, it's the same place, TV theater, where the set was built. So probably these are things that I've left out and I needed to add in. The turnaround is always insane. One main aspect of why I love film design or television design is because of the quick turnaround, and I could see things made quick versus seeing something that takes a long time to do. Compare table. So I did like exploding view of how the set or aspect of the set could look like. A lot of these, if we are able to, we'll stick to my designs. If unable to, then we'll have constant meetings to sort out what we can do closest to the design I want to. And not just me, but everyone else as well, to be able to achieve the design we hope to have lah. So that's one aspect of having a pipeline of and a chain of folks to do works together with you versus a shorter chain lah. And then that's that. Yeah. And so my video ends. Thank you for watching.